Yeah, it's August 24th, 2018. It's 10:05 p.m. I do that in every video that I do, for the most part. Been doing that for the last, let's say, 7 years since I've been doing video recording with cell phones and other cameras. Anyways, point of the video is I don't want to be too up close and personal. There's a blemish here that's brand new. It's a mole, or possibly a mole. And with that, it forms like a mole. But if you, or like a pimple, you pop it, it turns into a mole. Sometimes it still turns, and they still turn into moles. They're starting to pop up all over the place, and there's quite a few people that I know, or at least know of, throughout the community here in Columbus, Ohio, even family relatives. They're eating certain types of foods that's causing these moles. The thing is I know for a fact somebody's intentionally doing it. It's intentional contaminants. In Colorado Springs, Colorado, if you followed me, I lived out there. There's major problems out there, being targeted, all that stuff. There's an FBI agent driving a city bus and a few black guys in the back, basically insinuating they work with the federal government, and they was talking about they can place moles on people, and they was doing all kinds of different stuff, and just basically not hardcore completely intimidating, but like, you're ignorant and you don't need to be, out here, or you better obey what we tell you, or else you'll get a mole or some blemish or health problems. Cyst, gangle cysts, that can be basically induced for somebody to grow. I don't know or remember what they had said with that, but no matter what, the contaminants of food, and on top, presence of somebody also trying to maybe help stress the person, or utilizing an electronic device to irritate the skin where the mole is growing with the contaminants that are in the system, administered either through fast food. It can even come through your local store, like canned food, just food. If they know your stuff like they do me, they know what I'm going to go shop for, and you can go, I guarantee, if you sat here with me and I called, or I did something to where you could get to the store before I got there, and I started naming off products, and then you waited around, you'd see somebody switch it out. Literally, swear to God. Why don't I record it to the police? What did I just say? Didn't the FBI in Colorado Springs start explaining their ability of power while utilizing organized stalking type of situations? They call it some type of social, it's just social works itself, and they control that part of social works, and they can just deem anybody as the way they make it feel, that you better obey us or else. Well, if you ain't got a criminal charge or reason, then you don't need to be messing with me. I'm up close that again. A lot of health problems being caused, on top of them utilizing resources, or someone making it out it's just a complete complicity complex situation where being taken advantage of, targeted intellectually, psychologically, emotionally, and they're just taking advantage of who's doing it. Who's you going to point the finger at? Makes you look crazy. The blacks, the FBI, the Mexicans, they go through different types of race groups, and they go into cliques, or this group of people was doing this, but no matter what, they all use the same type of techniques, which was described by the DEA. I lost that report. I couldn't hang on to it due to eavesdropping. I didn't want it in my possession, not for lawful reasons, but unlawful community situations, to where they're allowing, and what I was going to say, resourcing neighborhood thugs to thug and target somebody that they want to either break or that they want to control, and that's the FBI. And that was explained to me in Colorado Springs. And the situation with that is the FBI went under investigation out there, just like the police department did. And there's things that happened out there that the system got convicted of messing and thugging people, basically. And thugging is illegal, but misconduct, the easy words of misconduct. But they was also, I do believe the city went after thugging as a technical crime. And at which point, you're looking at authoritative figures utilizing this stuff. The neighbors that I have already admitted that they're some type of undercover, but at the same time, I don't trust their work, period, because I know their undercover work is party, helltown, they're doing drugs. I mean, do you trust a cop that's doing drugs? An undercover agent that's supposed to be profiling, investigating, and getting the much worth value out of it? Much less trying to utilize resources, techniques, and tactics, threat and intimidation. I should go after the United States. My point with this is to show these are health problems. And this is, now it's starting to appear more and more, gangle cyst, being teased and taunted. Neighbors over here, and yo, what's up, homie? You wanna play with me? One of the neighbors that I keep talking about isn't exactly, it is a neighbor, but he also owns a business. Basically, I live on one side of the street where it's houses, and the opposite side of the street is mostly businesses or buildings for business and whatnot. What was I going to say with that? That he's been over there snickering in New York City. He was identified as mimic personality. Someone mimicked him to a T, just like they like trying to do. They'll take a person and try to make them look alike or act like somebody else, just to irritate that person or irritate a group or challenge that person's life's rights to their life. I got somebody better than him. His intellect, I learned his intellect and his intelligence and his characteristic and traits, or their whoever, but since I'm the target, I'm gonna name myself. And I got somebody that's 10 times better than him. He doesn't deserve nothing. If we're gonna play best to best, then my person's better than him, so he gets all of his stuff, and he needs to go, go somewhere. Well, if that was harassment, say it couldn't be proven in the city, and I always bring this up in a lot of videos, they walk away from trouble when you can. Not that you should have to, but just say in the last resort, you walk away from that trouble and that trouble follows you. Now it's not them trying to deem controlment for their neighbor, their community, the power of their city or their social life there and whatnot. Now they're targeting, which has happened and which has been proven and also suspected, and some investigated, some was not me enforcing the investigation. They just picked up. I was hiking on the highway, and I've had sheriff's department pick me up and outright tell me there's rings of people following you. Like, they're doing car stalking rings. Some's been stopped, questioned. We're going to allow it to go, not really like let it go. We need to understand what they're doing and go from there. But anyways, with that being said, whole point of the video, look at that massive, this is within hours. I think I have a video earlier, nope, because I had a t-shirt on, which I should have. I don't want to be too naked and not afraid on video here, but not that I am completely that naked, sorry, but that's a mole, that'll form into a mole. Shoulders, all the rest, and Snickers. The Snickers. That's just one characteristic of one neighbor. Oh, the other. And then them bringing in other people. Oh, you don't want peace? You want us to play hardball with you? Government thugging. On top of social groups. Get rid of the government and social groups utilizing the government with persuasion, manipulation, or just ability somehow that they accessed it. They kind of conjured up shit that kind of grappled into the system, and they're misutilizing the system in a sabotage way. And now the system's under their control, which was busted in Colorado Springs also. And I left Colorado Springs 11 years ago. But that shit was busted. Italian mafia and a bunch of other stuff being controlled. But there's certain things the police had said in the investigation neighborhood-wise, because other people was being taken advantage of, even though they was partying with the situation per se, or down, or entertaining themselves, or was sort of accepting the situation going on around in the community, until they realized it's affecting their value that they didn't know, and somebody taking advantage of them, maybe not as hard as me being a targeted individual, imitating, or not imitating, intimidating, utilizing me as a targeted power, intimidating them you get out of line, we'll handle you. But with that being said, yeah, all this stuff was busted in Colorado Springs. Tucson, Arizona, 2002. There's situations that happened in 2005 when I first went out to New York City. And once again, stalking. I was put into a victim system. I can't get that victim's notes because I can't go in and say, my name is this, my social. It's not, they don't do it that way when it goes into a protective case. They give you a victimization number so you can't be identified. Well, the paperwork's lost on my behalf, and you need that number to access my case to be able to go and take it to somebody else and talk about. But it could be, I give anybody that wants to understand how this targeted individual stuff works to go ahead and hold my hand for a couple of weeks. Maybe rent a motel, do whatever you want. Not inviting people to come and stalk me either, but come check it out. You'll see it's plain as day. I went back out to New York City again in 2015. Perfectly good strangers. I wasn't there more than a week. Some of them homeless, some of them that's been around, the downtown area where I basically traveled, hung, and did whatever I wanted to. You got people following him. They're utilizing techniques, traits. They're in here harassing, utilizing brute force, irritating, agitating, doing whatever they want to. Doing whatever they can to get him. And basically it's understood when I started talking to certain individuals trying to sabotage and ruin life for me. Why would I need to be followed? All of this stuff, like people said, a lot of the strangers that was from them communities, even if it's a homeless or even community people up and around downtown Manhattan. And there's outskirts too, but I didn't travel too much far outside that situation. But saying no, there's new stuff here. That basically like cat drug in, dog drug in. You got here, they came with you. That's perceptional. And any law enforcement agency that's trying to take, you don't know who it is, well then put the investigation out there and do it. And I'm having troubles, and people understood that. Law enforcement being involved on top of that. It's not, I can't say it's not a secret. It's plain as day, and then somebody trying to treat everybody else stupid or authoritative, that they don't belong understanding what's going on. Now that leads into human trafficking type of situations and hardcore like psychotic psychology type of manipulative, systematic manipulation of situations, just like was busted in Colorado Springs back 2006 and a little bit prior to that, after investigations of mafioso gangsters or people of power trying to over-enforce power through the government, through the system, utilizing their own manipulative tactics to gain control of the system, enforce what they want and how the neighborhood runs and community. Now, since it was so bad, I left. So like I said, anybody blaming me for not getting out of the situation, victim blaming, I've left multitudes of different places. It doesn't matter. I've traveled and I hiked. How is it that they're following me? If they wanted to be away from me, wouldn't you think they'd either stay put or travel the opposite direction? Kind of point and then point blank type of ideal. Not feeling good. I've had health problems. Apparently there's more stuff being started and being snickered at. What's up, biatch? Come on, you own a business that's professional. Not that you have to be. You can do whatever you want, especially when it's like a little private supposed business. Except for you sure got a whole lot of electronics over there, buddy. And the rest of them throwing threat and turning on a device, and we'll turn on your implant, and we'll do whatnot. If you watched the video earlier that I did today, 2 videos ago, it shows about muscle spasms and electrical current that went through my body, and my body started to muscle spasm real hard. That's health problems. And matter of fact, I don't know, because I don't recognize this from yesterday. I'm going to go over my pictures and see if I have my shirt off, if it was there yesterday, to show a comparison, how fast that happened. Now, I just had all my teeth taken out. Some of it was ill-advised, and another situation of bad targeting, and there was an individual talking crap at the dentist office. It looked like he was influencing shit. So the government is not protecting, and it will do harm, but I'm not blaming government. It's whoever wants to manipulate, power, and control, and the government not protecting its people against the terrorization that is happening. If you go to my website, targetofunlawfulacts.com, some of the stalking type of techniques, ideals, threats, intimidation, emotional harassment, assault type of stuff, there's a video that I took off of YouTube that I found for self-support, and I do believe I downloaded it. If I haven't, I'll re-download it again. That way I have a hard copy. But you can watch that video. There's a couple of videos on the front page there. The website really isn't much, just as much as it is this video. It's not professional. It's not really authentic. It's not really anything but me rambling on for right now. But I'm going to keep progressing, going through the system and reporting things, calling the sheriffs, doing things that, from corruption point of view, I can't make always contact to certain agencies because of the local corruption, or even as high as going to Washington, D.C., which I was out there April 1st and major problems happening, and it being treated the correct way. I need a lawyer, somebody that can represent and understands, has power and strength left to them, and the knowledge of what's going on to produce the help and produce the enforcements behind that help, publicly, socially, and everything else, to help out. In New York City, somebody contacted, because they seen what was happening with me, to see if a lawyer could pick up the situation and actually take it to court, not just to sue, but be able to have, not like just go to the cops and get a restraining order, but take it through an actual court system and have the situation stopped. I've had lawyers stop out and say, hey, there's major shit going on, you can report it. It's going to cost me money, though, that I don't have. I'm broke and pretty poor, put it that way, due to being duressed and attacked and assaulted. But anyways, a lot of it. But anyhow, definitely just wanted to get this out there. Look at that. I am not joking you. The insanity behind that, coming from FBI shit in Colorado Springs, on top of the black individuals. And there is scientific research going on out there from 2000 to 2005-6. Basically the same power control. I'm not talking about the government, but yet I am. The people who manipulated enough to gain the power controlment of the community, the government, and doing what they wanted to, throwing out their own intelligent, researchable shit of human pimples, moles, health conditions, how to slow a community down, make people feel groggy, make them want and fiend for the power these other powerful people are thrilling off of, to feel the same thrill as they do. And then you got manipulative agencies, or manipulated agencies, which, if you watch the video on my website, not that you have to, you can look it up on YouTube. I forget what it is, and I should be able to mesmerize and be able to tell right away, keep my stuff organized. Whole point is just go to the website real quick, look at the videos that are there, and ones with Sheriff's Department, legal enforcement people, and this time it's pretty trustworthy because now they understand the perspective of some of the things that are happening to people that don't know how to tell, don't know how to do a certain thing, or a system that's corrupt and misconducted, and understanding that misconduction has happened and how to maybe get help or make external contact to get help with a situation, and be able to explain and talk to somebody and let them know, and be able to have somebody possibly help you out, and having the situation resolved and it in your favor, helping you out, maybe even with convictions and proof, to be able to help support the emotional duress that those other people that was stalking and doing all the other stuff put you through. Anyways, I'm out. Peace. Another situation of not just electronic jamming, targeted individual, and I'm wearing it out. Not really. Mine's already been proven. I'm also going to say there's like a bunch of other cases. Colorado Springs, Colorado, targeted homeless people, targeted individuals in the community, petitioned and won the court cases through the courts of certain amount of shit in Colorado Springs. That was true. The same thing, kind of complaints. There's organized stalking. This is happening. Somebody's attacking me. And the system is helping. And that's another thing. System was prosecuted. That's how high that went to. It wasn't just like, petty shit. Sorry. It actually worked. And those people knew I was being targeted because they was going through similar, and they all came to me and said the same thing. Yours is severer than ours is. It's terrible of what we're in, and as terrible as it is, to even think that it's worse, that's sad. And tried to help me out and went through the system. I won't say I don't know how to explain it. I'm not going to explain that right now because it's lengthy, and I've already did another 20-minute video here. But this is health problems being created. Moles, blemishes. Also, I messed up your physical looks. It all has power. Hey, you're not as healthy as I am. I know how to take care of myself. And, you got these people that are supposed to be respectable just disrespecting or not normal situations running. Targeted situations. Even if law enforcement's doing it intentional, how much power and jurisdiction and those type of common ideals does law enforcement have to produce? Even though that I was told one thing, which some of it is trustworthy, just like the performance of creating health problems, what happens if you get a rogue agent or a rogue affiliation, no matter what it is, with authoritative power, manipulated, which was already prosecuted, trying to utilize these techniques and skills? It's corruption, it's misconduct, and it could lead into assault by whoever's doing it. But who is doing it? Especially when they're hiding themselves. They know best. They're the best. They're like MIB, Men in Black. Oh, we know, if I wanted to hide, I can hide too. I'm an expert. I'm professional. Anyways, just throwing out some stuff here, rambling. Like I said, I'm ending this video. I'm going to press stop myself here in a second. Peace and have fun.